Hello, and a very warm welcome to Mastering Effective Communication Skills. I am so glad you've decided to join me today for a journey that will unlock one of the most powerful and life-changing abilities you can possess. Before we begin, let's create the ideal space for you to learn and reflect. Find a comfortable spot where you can focus your attention. If possible, put on your headphones to ensure you can fully absorb the nuances of our conversation. This time is your investment in building stronger connections and a more influential voice. Think about it. Every single success you will have in your life, from your personal relationships to your professional achievements, will be built on a foundation of communication. Today, we will explore how to connect more deeply, influence with integrity, and succeed by communicating with power and purpose. This course is your key to unlocking the potential to transform your relationships, accelerate your career, and make a meaningful impact in every single conversation. To continue this journey with us, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. I would also love to know who is part of this conversation today, so please say hello in the comments and let us know where you're tuning in from. Are you ready to find your voice and change your world? Let's begin. In our fast-paced, interconnected world, it's easy to think that technology has made communication easier. We have endless tools to send messages instantly across the globe. But this has created a paradox. While we are more connected than ever, we are also more at risk of being misunderstood. So, why do strong communication skills matter now more than ever before? Let's start with a staggering number. According to recent studies, miscommunication and poor communication cost U.S. businesses an estimated $1.2 trillion every single year. That's not a typo. Trillion. This cost comes from missed deadlines, failed projects, and low morale, all stemming from messages that were unclear, unheard, or misinterpreted. It's no surprise, then, that 72% of business leaders say that effective communication is the single most important factor for team productivity. They know that it's the essential lubricant that makes everything else in an organization run smoothly. But this isn't just about business. This is about your life. Your communication skills are the single greatest determinant of your career impact and the quality of your personal relationships. Every promotion you earn, every negotiation you win, every friendship you build, and every conflict you resolve will hinge on your ability to communicate effectively. In a world saturated with noise, the ability to speak with clarity, listen with empathy, and connect with authenticity is not just a soft skill. It is the foundational superpower for success. It is how you turn your ideas into action and your potential into reality. So, what do we truly mean by effective communication? It's a term we hear all the time, but let's break it down to its powerful core. At its heart, effective communication is both an art and a science. It's the process of exchanging information, ideas, and feelings in a way that ensures the message is not just sent, but is received and understood with perfect clarity. It's about much more than just the words you say. Think of it as a symphony with several key components playing in harmony. There's verbal communication, the actual words you choose. There's the incredibly powerful nonverbal communication, your body language, tone of voice, and eye contact, which often speak louder than your words. There's written communication, from emails to reports, where clarity is paramount. And there's visual communication, which helps simplify complex ideas. But the most crucial thing to remember is this. Communication is never a one-way broadcast. It is always a two-way street. You can have the most perfectly crafted message, but if you are not actively listening and paying attention to the other person's response, you are only doing half the job. True understanding only happens through active engagement. It requires us to listen as much as we speak, to ask clarifying questions, and to be open to feedback. It's a dynamic dance of sending and receiving, of speaking and listening, that creates a shared reality between two or more people. That is the essence of communicating effectively. To master any skill, we must first understand how it works. Communication is a process, a cycle with distinct, predictable stages. By understanding this cycle, we can learn to spot where breakdowns happen and how to prevent them. Let's walk through the 4 key stages. It all begins with the sender, who has a thought or an idea. The first step is encoding. This is the mental process of translating that internal thought into a communicable form. You choose your words, decide on your tone of voice, and consider your body language. You are packaging the message. Next comes transmitting. This is the actual act of sending the message out into the world. It could be through speaking, writing an email, or even a simple gesture. The message travels from you to the receiver through a chosen channel. The third stage happens on the other side, with the receiver. This is decoding. The receiver takes the package you sent and unpacks it, interpreting the words, tone, and nonverbal cues to understand the meaning. This is a critical stage, as their interpretation is filtered through their own experiences, beliefs, and emotional state. Finally, and most importantly, we have feedback. This is the receiver's response, which signals back to the sender whether the message was understood as intended. A nod, a question, a reply. This is what closes the communication loop. Miscommunication almost always happens when there's a problem in one of these stages: a poorly encoded message, a noisy transmission, or an incorrect decoding. By recognizing this cycle, you can become a more mindful communicator, ensuring your messages are not just sent, but truly land with clarity. As a skilled communicator, you are like a musician who can play multiple instruments. You have a variety of communication channels at your disposal, and your effectiveness depends on your ability to choose the right instrument for the right occasion. Let's explore the primary channels you'll use. First, we have the most fundamental channel: spoken communication. This is the rich, immediate exchange of words in face-to-face conversations, phone calls, or meetings. Its power lies in its immediacy and the ability to use tone and emotion to add layers of meaning. Next is written communication. From a formal report to a quick text message, the written word provides a record. It allows for careful thought and precise language, but it lacks the immediate feedback and nonverbal cues of spoken conversation, requiring extra care to ensure clarity and tone are not misinterpreted. Then we have the powerful and often subconscious channel of nonverbal communication. This is everything you communicate without words: your posture, your gestures, your facial expressions, and your eye contact. In a face-to-face interaction, your nonverbal signals can reinforce, contradict, or even completely override the words you are saying. Finally, there is visual communication. Think of charts, graphs, videos, and presentations. In a world of information overload, visuals can cut through the noise, simplify complex ideas, and make your message more memorable and engaging. Mastering communication means becoming fluent in all of these channels. It's about knowing when a quick phone call is better than a long email, when a powerful visual will make your point better than words alone, and how to ensure your body language is always aligned with your message. By adapting your style to the context and the audience, you maximize your impact and ensure true understanding. Have you ever had a conversation where someone said all the right words, but something just felt off? Perhaps they said, "I'm so excited," but their voice was flat and they wouldn't make eye contact. Or they said, "I'm listening," while tapping away on their phone. This experience teaches us a fundamental truth. Communication is so much more than just words. In fact, some studies suggest that in a face-to-face conversation, the words themselves account for only a small fraction of the overall message. The vast majority of meaning is conveyed through your nonverbal signals, your tone of voice, your posture, your gestures, and the expression on your face. This is where the real magic of connection happens. When your verbal message is perfectly aligned with your nonverbal signals, your communication becomes incredibly powerful. Your words say one thing, and your entire being confirms it. This is what we perceive as authenticity, and it is the bedrock of trust. An open posture, a warm tone of voice, and engaged eye contact can create a bridge between you and another person that words alone cannot build. They signal that you are present, that you are sincere, and that you are trustworthy. So, as you work to become a more effective communicator, pay as much attention to how you are saying something as you do to what you are saying. By ensuring your nonverbal cues are authentic and aligned with your message, you will create connections that transcend language and make every interaction more impactful, meaningful, and real. Welcome to Chapter 1. Now that we understand the fundamentals of the communication process, it's time to equip ourselves with a powerful, practical framework for excellence. Think of this as your ultimate checklist for crafting any message, whether spoken or written. We call it the 7 C's of effective communication. Mastering these 7 principles will ensure that your messages are always clear, impactful, and achieve their intended purpose. They are the building blocks of professional, influential communication. First, we have completeness. Is the message self-contained? Does it give the audience all the information they need to be informed and take action? Second, conciseness. Are you using the fewest words possible to convey your point? Respecting the other person's time is a hallmark of a great communicator. Third, consideration. Have you put yourself in the shoes of your audience? The message should be framed around their perspective, their needs, and their potential reactions. Fourth, clarity. Is the purpose of your message crystal clear? There should be no room for ambiguity. Fifth, concreteness. Are you using specific facts, figures, and examples rather than vague, general statements? This makes your message more vivid and credible. Sixth, courtesy. Is the message polite, friendly, and respectful? Courtesy strengthens relationships and improves the reception of your message even when the topic is difficult. And finally, correctness. Is the information accurate? Are the grammar and spelling flawless? Errors can undermine your credibility instantly. Throughout this chapter, we will dive into each of these 7 C's, giving you the tools to apply them in every conversation, email, and presentation. Let's begin. Let's dive into the first 2 and perhaps most fundamental of the 7 C's. Completeness and conciseness. These 2 principles work together like a perfect partnership to create messages that are both thorough and efficient. First, let's talk about completeness. Have you ever received an email about a meeting but it was missing the location or the time? That's a failure of completeness. A complete message anticipates and answers all the potential questions the audience might have. It provides all the necessary information so that the other person can be fully informed and take action without needing to send a follow-up message. Before you hit send or end a conversation, ask yourself, if I were them, what else would I need to know? Now, let's pair this with its powerful partner, conciseness. In a world where everyone is busy, the greatest gift you can give your audience is the gift of time. Conciseness is the art of being brief without being abrupt. It means communicating your complete message in the fewest words possible without sacrificing clarity or courtesy. This is about eliminating redundancy, cutting out filler words, and getting straight to the point. It's the difference between a rambling 5-paragraph email and a crisp 3-sentence message that conveys the exact same information. By mastering both completeness and conciseness, you demonstrate respect for your audience. You show them that you value their time and have put in the effort to make your message as clear and easy to understand as possible. It's a simple combination that immediately elevates the quality and professionalism of your communication. Now we move to 2 principles that are at the very heart of connecting with another person: consideration and clarity. These are the C's that build bridges of understanding between you and your audience. Let's start with consideration. This is the empathetic part of communication. It means stepping out of your own shoes and into the shoes of the person you are communicating with. Before you speak or write, you pause and think about them. What is their level of knowledge on this topic? What are their needs, their concerns, their potential emotional reactions? Consideration is about framing your message in a way that is relevant and respectful to your audience. It's the difference between a message that feels like a generic broadcast and one that feels like it was crafted just for them. It's about focusing on you instead of I. This naturally leads us to clarity. If consideration is about understanding your audience, clarity is about ensuring your audience understands you. A clear message has a single, well-defined purpose. It avoids trying to say too many things at once, which only creates confusion. To achieve clarity, use simple, direct language. Avoid technical jargon, acronyms, or overly complex sentences that might confuse your audience. Break down complex topics into smaller, more digestible parts. The goal of communication is not to sound impressive. The goal is to be understood. As Albert Einstein famously said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. By combining consideration for your audience with a relentless focus on clarity, You ensure that your message not only reaches them, but truly resonates with them, making understanding almost effortless. Let's complete our framework with the final three C's: concreteness, courtesy, and correctness. These are the principles that give your communication credibility, professionalism, and power. First, we have concreteness. A concrete message is vivid and specific, not vague and general. It's backed by facts, figures, and real-world examples. Instead of saying, "We need to improve sales," a concrete message says, "We need to increase sales in the North region by 15% this quarter." Concreteness paints a clear picture in your audience's mind, leaving no room for misinterpretation and making your message far more believable and memorable. Next is courtesy. This is about more than just being polite. It's about showing respect and professionalism in every interaction. Courtesy means being mindful of your tone, using inclusive language, and responding in a timely manner. Even when you are delivering bad news or handling a conflict, a courteous approach helps preserve the relationship and ensures your message is received as constructively as possible. It's the oil that lubricates all communication. Finally, we have correctness. This is the foundation of your credibility. A correct message is free from any grammatical errors, typos, or factual inaccuracies. Before you communicate, take a moment to proofread your writing. Double-check your data and verify your sources. Correctness also means matching the formality of your language to the situation. An email to your CEO should be more formal than a message to a close colleague. By ensuring your communication is always concrete, courteous, and correct, you build a reputation as a trustworthy, professional, and effective communicator whose messages are always taken seriously. So, we have now explored all 7 principles of effective communication: completeness, conciseness, consideration, clarity, concreteness, courtesy, and correctness. But knowing them is only half the battle. The real power comes from using them consistently in every single message you create. To make this easy and practical, I want you to think of the 7 C's as your personal pre-flight checklist for communication. Just as a pilot runs through a checklist before taking off to ensure a safe and successful flight, you can use this framework to ensure your message lands exactly as intended. Before you hit send on that important email, before you step into that crucial meeting, or before you make that critical phone call, take just 30 seconds to run through this mental checklist. Ask yourself, is it complete? Is it concise? Is it considerate of my audience? Is its purpose crystal clear? Is it concrete and specific? Is it courteous in its tone? And is it 100% correct? If you can answer yes to all 7, you can be confident that you have crafted a powerful, professional, and effective piece of communication. This simple habit will dramatically reduce misunderstandings, strengthen your relationships, and amplify your impact. It's your personal quality control system for becoming a truly exceptional communicator. Welcome to Chapter 2. We've just built a powerful framework with the 7 C's for crafting the perfect message. But as we all know from experience, even with the very best intentions, communication can still break down. A message is sent, but it gets lost, distorted, or completely misinterpreted along the way. Why does this happen? It happens because the path between you and your audience is often filled with invisible obstacles and roadblocks. We call these barriers to communication. In this chapter, we are going to shine a bright light on these common barriers. We'll explore the psychological, emotional, and physical obstacles that can sabotage your message without you even realizing it. From emotional triggers and cultural differences to information overload and simple distractions, we will dissect the things that get in the way of clear understanding. Recognizing that these barriers exist is the crucial first step to overcoming them. By learning to spot them in yourself and in others, you can develop strategies to navigate around them, break through them, and ensure your messages land successfully. This is how you move from simply sending a message to truly ensuring it is received, making your communication consistently effective and impactful. Let's explore some of the most common and powerful barriers that can distort our messages and prevent genuine understanding. By learning to recognize these obstacles, we can proactively work to dismantle them. First, we have emotional blocks. When we or our audience are feeling strong emotions like anger, fear, or stress, our ability to listen and process information rationally plummets. Emotions act like a filter, coloring how we interpret messages and often leading us to react defensively rather than listen openly. An emotional hijack can shut down communication before it even begins. Next are physical barriers. This can be as simple as a noisy room that makes it hard to hear, a bad internet connection that disrupts a virtual meeting, or even the physical distance between you and the other person. These environmental factors can create static in the communication channel, making it difficult for the message to get through clearly. Then, we have language differences. This isn't just about speaking different languages. It also includes the use of technical jargon, slang, or culturally specific phrases that one person understands but the other doesn't. When we don't share a common vocabulary, we might as well be speaking different languages, leading to confusion and misunderstanding. Finally, there's a huge barrier in our modern world: attention issues. We live in an age of constant distraction. Information overload, endless notifications, and the pressure to multitask mean that we often give conversations only a fraction of our attention. Without focused attention from both the sender and the receiver, the message is bound to get lost. Recognizing which of these barriers is at play is the first critical step toward breaking them down and achieving successful communication. Let's move this from theory to reality with a powerful, real-world example that shows the staggering cost of a simple communication breakdown. Imagine a major tech company working on a critical software update. The project manager sends an email to the lead developer with the subject line, "Urgent. Revise UI." In the email, he writes, "We need to overhaul the user interface based on the latest feedback. Let's make it more modern." The project manager's idea of modern was a few simple color and font changes, but the developer, a passionate and creative professional, interpreted overhaul and modern as a green light to completely redesign the entire user interface from scratch. He and his team worked tirelessly for 2 weeks, pouring hundreds of hours into building a beautiful, brand new interface. When they proudly presented their work, the project manager was horrified. They had wasted 2 weeks and burned through an estimated $500,000 in salaries and resources, all because of two vague words. The misunderstanding caused a massive project delay and created immense frustration and unnecessary stress for the entire team. What could have prevented this? A simple 2-minute follow-up conversation. If the project manager had called the developer to clarify what modern meant, or if the developer had replied asking for specific examples, this entire $500,000 mistake could have been avoided. This story is a stark reminder: never assume your message has been understood. Always confirm understanding, especially when the stakes are high. A moment of clarification can save you from weeks of wasted work and prevent costly, damaging misinterpretations. Chapter 3: Strategies to Communicate Effectively. Transform your communication from good to exceptional by implementing proven strategies. Enhance clarity, build connections, and drive results. These strategies will elevate your communication skills and impact. We've talked a lot about how to craft and send clear messages, but now we turn to what is arguably the most important and most underrated skill in all of communication: active listening. It is the unsung hero that has the power to transform every conversation you have. As the great Stephen Covey said, most people do not listen with the intent to understand, they listen with the intent to reply. Think about that. So often in conversations, we are not truly listening. We are just waiting for our turn to talk, formulating our response, our argument, or our story in our head while the other person is still speaking. Active listening is the conscious decision to do the opposite. It is the discipline of quieting your own inner monologue and giving the other person the gift of your full, undivided attention. It's about listening not just to their words, but to the complete message, the emotions, the hesitations, and the meaning behind what is being said. How do we practice this? First, you must focus completely. Put away your phone, turn away from your computer, and make eye contact. Be present. Second, observe their nonverbal cues. What is their body language telling you? What is the emotion in their tone of voice? And third, provide feedback to show you are engaged. This can be a simple nod, or paraphrasing what they said with a phrase like, "So if I'm understanding you correctly." When you practice active listening, you do more than just gather information. You make the other person feel seen, heard, and deeply valued. It is the fastest way to build trust, de-escalate conflict, and create genuine human connection. Let's dive deeper into the silent, powerful language that often says more than our words ever can: nonverbal communication. If you want to become a truly exceptional communicator, you must become fluent in this unspoken language. The statistics are astonishing. Depending on the study you look at, researchers estimate that anywhere from 65% to as high as 93% of a message's true impact and meaning comes not from the words themselves but from your body language and your tone of voice. This means that in any face-to-face interaction, the vast majority of your communication is happening without you even speaking. Mastering this requires two key skills. First, you must learn to align your own nonverbal signals with your verbal message. If you want to convey confidence, you must stand tall, make steady eye contact, and use a firm tone of voice. If you want to show empathy, you must soften your expression and lean in. When your words and your body are saying the same thing, your message becomes incredibly powerful and authentic. Second, you must learn to read the room. This is the art of observing the nonverbal cues of others to understand their true emotional state. Is your audience engaged and leaning in, or are they distracted and looking away? Do they seem confused, or are they nodding in agreement? The ability to accurately read these signals and then adjust your own approach in real time is a hallmark of a great communicator. It allows you to build rapport, manage difficult conversations, and ensure your message is always landing effectively. By mastering this silent language, you will build deeper trust and dramatically enhance the impact of every word you speak. Whether you're giving a formal presentation, leading a team meeting, or having a critical one-on-one conversation, delivering a powerful message doesn't happen by accident, it happens by design. To ensure your message is always clear, confident, and impactful, you can follow a simple yet powerful four-step framework. Plan, prepare, practice, and perform. The first step is to plan. This is the strategic phase. Before you think about what you're going to say, you must first define your objective. What is the single most important thing you want your audience to know, feel, or do after hearing your message? Who is your audience? And what do they care about? A clear plan is the foundation for everything else. The second step is to prepare. With your objective in mind, you can now organize your content. Structure your message with a clear beginning, middle, and end. Gather your facts, find your stories, and create your visuals. This is where you build the substance of your communication, ensuring it is logical, compelling, and easy to follow. The third and often most neglected step is to practice. You would never expect an actor or an athlete to perform without rehearsing, and the same should be true for important communication. Practice your delivery out loud. This helps you internalize the material, smooth out awkward phrasing, and manage your timing. It's the bridge between knowing your content and owning it. Finally, it's time to perform. This is where you bring your message to life. With the confidence that comes from solid planning, preparation, and practice, you can now focus on engaging your audience. Make eye contact, use your voice effectively, and be present in the moment. By following this four-step framework, you transform communication from a source of anxiety into a structured process that consistently delivers results, ensuring your message always achieves its goal and resonates effectively. Have you ever watched a truly captivating speaker and thought to yourself, "Wow, they are such a natural? They seem so effortless, so confident, so at ease in front of the audience." It's tempting to believe that they were simply born with a special gift, but I want to let you in on a secret. The most natural speakers are almost always the most prepared. There is a powerful and unbreakable equation for success in any presentation. Preparation plus practice equals power. The effortlessness you see on stage is not the result of a lack of effort. It is the direct result of an immense amount of effort invested behind the scenes. These speakers have spent hours, sometimes days, deeply understanding their audience, structuring their content, and refining their key messages. They have done the hard work of preparation, but they don't stop there. They practice. They rehearse their talk out loud over and over again until the flow is seamless and the stories are second nature. This practice is what builds true confidence. The confidence you see is not the absence of fear. It's the presence of being so thoroughly prepared that you know you can deliver value no matter what happens. When you combine deep preparation with dedicated practice, something magical happens. You no longer have to worry about what to say next. Your mind is freed up to focus on the one thing that truly matters: connecting with your audience. You can make eye contact, respond to their energy, and speak from the heart. So the next time you have a presentation, remember this equation. Invest the time to prepare and practice, and you will step onto that stage not with anxiety, but with the power and confidence to deliver an impactful presentation that leaves a lasting impression. And so, we come to the end of our time together, but it is truly the beginning of your journey as a more powerful and intentional communicator. The skills we've explored are not just theories to be learned, but tools to be used every single day. We've built a foundation with the 7 C's, your personal checklist for crafting messages that are clear, concise, and credible. We've learned to identify and break down the barriers that sabotage our conversations, and we've uncovered the profound power of active listening and purposeful speaking. Your communication journey starts now with your very next conversation. I challenge you to take one principle from this course and apply it today. Will you practice active listening in your next meeting? Will you run your next important email through the 7 C's checklist? Will you pay closer attention to your nonverbal cues? Small, consistent actions are what build mastery. Remember, effective communication is the single most powerful lever you have to transform your relationships and accelerate your career. It is the skill that allows you to connect deeply, influence with integrity, and achieve your goals. Congratulations on completing this course and on taking this powerful step for your personal and professional growth. As a recognition of your commitment, the link to receive your certificate of completion is waiting for you in the description below this video. Thank you for joining me on this journey. It has been a privilege to share this time with you. To continue honing your skills, please subscribe to our channel. Now go forward and communicate to connect, to influence, and to succeed.